Hello, everyone. Welcome. Thanks for joining us this afternoon or this evening, depending on where you are. My name's Chelsea. I'll be the host for the evening, and I'm looking forward to introducing our presenter as well as the topic. Philza, how are you doing?
Good. How are you?
I'm good, thanks. So tell everybody where you are. And we'd love to know where everyone's tuning in from also.
Yeah, I'm from Mississauga.
And I'm coming from not so sunny Summerland, BC.
It's not sunny here either.
Yeah.
I think we had like a few good hours and then it's like gloomy. It was gloomy in the morning. It's
Shoot.
okay. I think it's
Yeah,
just the transition, right? Like this time of the year, it's that transition weather.
it absolutely is. It feels the same here. There's little glimmers of sunshine, but the birds
Yeah.
are out and singing, and spring has arrived, which is so
Yeah.
fantastic.
I know. I love to see the buds, like
Yes.
the little buds come out, the flowers, and we have a magnolia tree. I think that's what they're called. And it only blooms in the springtime, so
Oh,
April,
I love them.
and it's just so beautiful. So that's like what I look forward to the
Oh,
most in
they
spring.
are absolutely stunning. One of the most beautiful flowering trees.
Yeah, for sure.
Somebody's asked if we will send the recording after. Filza?
I feel like Healthy Planet does.
Yeah. So we'll make sure that everybody can have access to that. Great question. It doesn't look like anybody has put where they're visiting from or where they are joining us from.
Yeah, I'm moving to Milton actually soon. So I'll be
Oh,
joining
wow, look at
next
that.
time I'm here, I'll be saying that I'm joining in from Milton.
Oh,
Well,
amazing.
Toronto, Whitby, a lot of Ontario, I think.
Yeah.
I see a
Oh,
Quebec,
Kits,
Quebec
BC,
City,
somebody out my direction.
New
New
Brunswick.
Brunswick? Wow, that's amazing. Love it.
Nice.
Well, we should get things started just so that you have as much time as possible for the presentation. So I would love to introduce Dr. Filza Swala. She's a licensed naturopathic doctor. She has a clinical focus on women's health, digestive health, and general health optimization. Filza utilizes the healing powers of nutrition, botanical herbs, and acupuncture and customized IV therapy. She believes the key to healing is addressing and treating the root cause. Filza is registered as a member with the College of Naturopaths of Ontario and the Canadian Association of Naturopathic Doctors. In her spare time, you can find Filza baking, playing with her puppy, listening to true crime podcasts, and Filza is the education manager for Jameson Wellness with a focus on consumer content. So with that, I will pass it over to you, Filza.
Thank you, Chelsea. Thank you, everyone, for joining me this evening or afternoon. I'm super excited to be here. I absolutely love Healthy Planet. I actually joke about it with my husband because, if I'm, have half an hour in between and I see a Healthy Planet, I'm like, I'm just going to go hop in Healthy Planet and I'm just going to take a look and see. And it's one of my like absolute things that I love to do when I have some free time is just shop around Healthy Planet and see what's in the store. So today, however, I'm going to be talking to you all about foundational solutions for everyday health concerns. And so I see a lot of patients in my practice that are having issues with their digestion, with their sleep. They feel the stress that's impacting them, and they're also looking for immune support. So today we're going to be covering these topics and really seeing how stress impacts different foundations of our health. So today I'm going to be covering the importance of resiliency, the role that stress plays on our sleep, our digestion, and immune health, and really what can you do about it? So what specific nutrients and botanicals play a role in supporting our stress response and really optimizing our foundational health, along with simple nutrition and lifestyle tips as well for stress management and long-term health optimization as well. So this is a question that I have for everyone. Maybe you've heard of this term before, maybe you haven't, but if you have heard of this term, what does resiliency mean to you? So if you just want to hop on over to the chat and drop that in To me, resiliency is really that bounce back. It's how I handle stress and how I come back from it. And so I think that, and today we're going to be talking a lot about resiliency, what it is, what it means, how you can build a resiliency, and why it really is important for stress management. So yeah, the ability to bounce back. Yep, withstand stress in a healthy way. Yep, those are the great examples of what resiliency means. So Oxford Dictionary actually defines it as the capacity to recover quickly. So that's that bounce back. It's how fast and how quickly you can, come back into shape. It's that elasticity that we need. And this is a quality that's really important for us, right? It helps us overcome challenges and obstacles, and it really prevents us from becoming defeated by them. So this is really what keeps us going and, enables us to come back stronger from stressful situations. Now, resiliency for me in the world of 2022, it implies hope, grit, and possibilities. And when we really think about foundational health, this is what comes to mind. For me, it's always about resiliency. When we think about stress, we really think about the impact it has on our foundational health. And that's why I'm going to be spending a lot of time today talking about stress. And really, when our foundation is stressed, right? Think about your home. When that foundation of your home is stressed, it's going to impact all the other levels of your home, all the other systems of your home. So this is why we really need to address stress and the impact it has in the different areas of our body. And in order to build a really strong foundation, we need to make it resilient to stress. We need to be able to bounce back from stressful situations. Another reason why I'm talking about stress a lot today is because we've seen its impacts over the last 2-3 years, right? So there's a lot of studies that have been done. In fact, the American Psychological Association of Stress in America reported that about 8 in 10 adults were very stressed because of the pandemic, and 60% were very overwhelmed by it. And so that impact of what the pandemic brought has been stress. So it's really important to now start thinking about how that's impacted us and what we can do to really prevent it from happening again and to deal with that stress as well. So our need for resiliency is really endless, and our human capacity for it is endless as well. So as humans, we do have the ability to pivot and shift through all of life's difficulties. And today we'll be emphasizing how you can do that and how you can build resiliency as well. So resiliency is also really important because it is associated with longevity, lower rates of low mood, and a greater satisfaction with life as well. So it's that lack of resiliency that really hinders our ability to handle stress. And we know from research that exposure to chronic stress is associated with high blood pressure, anxiety, low mood, sleep disturbances, even digestive issues, and it really also impacts our immune system as well. Now, there's a lot of different domains of resilience as well. There's that physical resiliency that you have, that strength, that endurance, your emotional resilience, so how emotionally flexible you are, along with your mental and spiritual resiliency as well. And that together comes and helps shape our muscle, our resiliency muscle, and impacts how we will be dealing with the stressors as well. So let's dive in a little bit further and think about how stress impacts our overall health and what domains are impacted by stress. So this is a question for all of you, so just drop it into the chat. So how does stress impact you? For some patients, I find that stress really impacts their digestion. For others, it's sleep. For some, it's immune health. For me personally, it's sleep. And we know that when we are stressed, we produce a lot more cortisol, and cortisol actually shunts that natural hormone production that we have and we need for sleep, which is melatonin. So the more stressed you are, the less melatonin you have. And for me, that really impacts. I notice that I have trouble falling asleep, I have trouble staying asleep, and then emotionally, those racing thoughts too, right? So it's really interesting. I'm seeing in the chat that some people experience sleep, they see changes in their immunity, they see changes in their digestion. So yeah, stress impacts everyone in such different ways, and it's important to understand that. So thank you so much for answering that. It's also really interesting to know that stress impacts memory. And this is something that I found to be very fascinating, something that was a new learning for me, really. And there's a lot of clinical studies that are starting to happen that show that when we have that elevated stress hormone, which is cortisol, it's been associated with poor overall cognition, decreased memory, changes in functioning, and even that social cognition. So again, it's not just sleep, digestion, and immunity. It can be sometimes more than that. It can be our memory and even our cognition. And for some of you, you've noticed that stress impacts your immune function. So stress, and it does that in various ways, right? So depending on the level of stress, different branches of our immune system can become dysregulated. So we have our innate immunity, which is really working 24/7. It's on the lookout for any pathogens, any viruses, and it's that initial response to an infection. That's what our innate immune system does. And then we also have our adaptive, which changes according to the specific, pathogen that you've been infected with. So stress impacts both of those factors very differently. And we know, and this is what research tells us, that when there's chronic stress, it leads to the inability of our body to regulate a proper immune response and to build a robust immune response. So sometimes when individuals have been stressed, it takes them longer to recover from an infection. It's also really important to be aware that our immune system changes as we age. So throughout our life, we'll experience different stressors and our immune response will be different. And that is especially true when we are older. So when you reach 70 and beyond, our immune system is not working as well as it used to. There's a reduced production of important immune cells like the B cells and the T cells. Our immune cells like our lymphocytes aren't as active, they aren't as receptive, they're not recognizing pathogens as fast. So this is something that we all need to be aware of so that we can not only support our immune system when we're at that stage, but also support our stress so that the stress is not what's causing an immune response. Stress also plays a big role in our gut health. And oftentimes in my practice, when I see patients that are coming in with digestive issues like heartburn or bloating or just a suboptimal digestive function, then we always talk about stress, right? So it's always a part of that conversation that we're having. Are you stressed? Where do you feel your stress? And oftentimes when there are uncomfortable digestive issues, stress management is part of that protocol. And there's a really interesting reason why. It's because when we have those elevated stress hormones, which is cortisol, it activates our fight and flight response. And when that happens, it does not prioritize digestion. So our digestion really slows down. It's not working optimally, and that's because of the higher levels of cortisol. So this can really decrease the digestive juices our stomach is producing, the digestive enzymes, and even cause gut bacteria dysbiosis as well. So again, if you are experiencing, gut health issues, it's not as optimal as you'd like it to be, think about stress. Now, sleep is also one major factor that individuals will experience when they are having a stressful situation or they've experienced chronic stress. So 50% of adults do have trouble falling asleep, 20% feel unrefreshed when they wake up, and 33% are actually having a hard time staying awake during the day. And sleep is so important. It impacts our cognition, it helps with mood regulation. There's a lot of studies that show that when we aren't sleeping enough, it's impacting, it's increasing the risk of chronic diseases like diabetes, heart disease, obesity. And we know that when we are sleeping, our mind is resting, but our immune system is actually very active. This is when our immune system is kind of going through our body and looking out for any pathogens. So it's also really important for, building a robust immune response. And as I mentioned before, when you are stressed, you're not producing melatonin. So this is why individuals, when they're stressed, are having trouble falling asleep and staying asleep. And there are other reasons why melatonin might be decreased as well. And that's, when you have too much light exposure as well. So anytime individuals in my practice are experiencing sleep issues, we're always discussing sleep hygiene. So really creating an environment 30 minutes before bedtime that enables you to get a restorative sleep. So putting away your phone, reading a book, maybe taking a warm shower. So those are some things that you could do to, help create an environment where you can have a restful sleep. And so we know stress influences how we feel in our body and in our mind as well. So for some individuals, they might be feeling more overwhelmed, they might be feeling angry or even irritable or even sad. And within our body, stress can, show signs with headaches, digestive problems, heart palpitations, sweating. So it's important to tune into your body when you're feeling those emotions, right? Ask yourself, why am I feeling frustrated? Is it because I'm stressed? Why am I having digestive problems? Is it stress? Is it because of work? Is it because of the balance between work life and home life? So these are some important questions that really help you tune into your body and see what the cause might be. So as I mentioned before, stressors are really inevitable, right? There's work stresses, there's maybe family stresses, there's that work-life balance, and sometimes it feels like you're literally hanging on, by a thread, like that picture in the middle. And sometimes we feel like that, and sometimes that's just inevitable, and that's just how it is. But it's really important that regardless of your circumstances in life, there's a lot that you can do to support yourself and to build that robust stress response, to build that resiliency so that you're not impacted by the negative effects to stress all the time. So I really like this image because to me, it shows, you're building resiliency not for yourself, but for your children as well. Resiliency really is a muscle. And over time, just like the muscles on our biceps or, our quads, we can develop it over time. We can make it stronger. And this can happen with the right mindset, the proper lifestyle, hygiene like diet, exercise, stress management, and with key nutrients and supplements as well. So when you build your resiliency to better deal with stress, you not just only boost your immunity, help with your sleep, help with your digestion, you're also helping with your foundational health. So one way to build resiliency can happen with personal shifts. So first and foremost, start to prioritize relationships, right? Connect with empathetic and understanding people who can really remind you of that you're not alone in this and can really validate your feelings and help you build those skills of resiliency as well. Also build social connections. So join a group. This could be, something that maybe it's a hobby. So join a running group. It could be a faith-based group. It's really nice to connect with like-minded individuals, build relationships. And I actually wrote an article that looked at centennials. So these are individuals who reached 100th birthday. And they saw a common trend in these individuals, and they studied these individuals, and they found that people who celebrated 100th birthday, they were spending time with their family, they prioritized relationships, they had a really robust social circle where they had the same values and they encouraged each other to grow. So that was really interesting. Another part of this group that was a common factor for all of these individuals was that they had a purpose. So they helped other people, they had a faith, or they meditated, and they found a purpose in their life, which really helped them to continue and to keep kind of building that resiliency and contributing to that community. So that was something that they really enjoyed. Also, lifestyle shifts can help grow your resiliency as well. So first and foremost, practicing mindfulness. So this could be mindful journaling, yoga, even spiritual practices like prayer or meditation. And so this can really help you build that gratitude so you can remind yourself of all the good that you have as well. Being proactive is also really important in resiliency. So if you are feeling stressed, ask yourself, what can I do about this stressful situation? What can I do about this problem? And if it seems like it's a very big task to tackle, then breaking it down into small chunks can be really effective in making sure that you're making progress in solving a problem or handling a stressful situation. It's also important to create goals that are manageable and attainable, and then developing it into a plan so that you can move towards your goals in an easy and effective way. Another way to reach to have resiliency is to have to see where your nutrition is. So I get asked this question a lot in my practice. It's, what's the best diet? it should be something that you can do every day. But also the one with the most robust research is a Mediterranean style diet. So that is an anti-inflammatory diet, which is high in omega-3 fatty acids and monosaturated fats. So those are olive oils and avocado oils, and it avoids those fats that are high in saturated fat. So that's your canola oils and corn oils. And with a Mediterranean style diet, we know that it lowers the risk of cardiovascular disease. It's also protective against different immune factors, and it also improves overall quality of life and even cognition. So it's important to eat a variety of fruits and vegetables, lean proteins. But one of the questions that I ask my patients as well is, after what do you eat? It's always, how do you eat? So my professor always used to say, you aren't what you eat, you are what you absorb. So how you're consuming your meals, how you're eating, what environment you're in, what state of mind you're in also impacts the way that your body is digesting meals and digesting food. So this is also very important to consider. So I always ask my patients, are you watching TV? Are you eating in a rush? Are you actually calm when you're eating? It's very important to be in a relaxed state when you are eating. When we are relaxed, it's our parasympathetic nerve that is activated. And that is the nerve that innervates our digestive system. So when that's activated and when you are in a calm state, that's when your body is actually releasing digestive juices. That's when you have those enzymes. So it's very important to be in that state while you're eating a meal so that your body's will be able to absorb everything that you're consuming. So this is something that is extremely important and something that I always educate my patients on when we talk about diet. So when your body needs additional support, supplements can be beneficial. So it's important to do the lifestyle, it's important to do the diet, it's important to be mindful of how you're eating and be in a relaxed state. But some supplements really help you it brings a whole other level of stress management that you wouldn't be able to just achieve from nutrition and lifestyle alone. So one of my absolute favorite stress supporting herbs are adaptogens, and these are a unique class of healing plants. And whenever I have patients that are experiencing stress, adaptogens are definitely my go-to. And there's so much robust research about adaptogens. So we know that adaptogens, they really help to bring back balance. They help to restore and protect the body. And it helps your body build a normal physiological response to stressors. In the research, we know that adaptogens help with creating mental focus and mental stamina. It also helps to relieve mental fatigue, and it also supports that physical performance too. And that's sometimes something that we experience when we are stressed, is that lack of endurance or physical performance. So one of my favorite herbs is rhodiola, and rhodiola has been used in traditional medicine to increase the resistance to chemical, biological, and physical stressors. And I absolutely love this herb. I used to take it. And now I've switched to ashwagandha, and ashwagandha has amazing research around it as well. It's been used in herbal medicine to increase energy and resistance to stress. And in Ayurvedic medicine, actually, it's been used for memory enhancement as well. So there's a lot of robust research on ashwagandha. It's one of the most popular adaptogenic herbs. And we know that when individuals have taken ashwagandha, they've noticed a decrease in their perceived stress response levels. And they've also seen a decrease in the cortisol levels as well. So some really great evidence for ashwagandha. We also know it helps to reduce the symptoms of stress like fatigue, sleeplessness, irritability, and that inability to concentrate as well. My other favorite herbs are schizandra and astragalus. Schizandra because it also helps to increase that resistance to stress, that energy as well, and it also increases physical performance and endurance. And we know that astragalus also helps with increasing energy and resistance to overall stress as well. So we mentioned a little bit previously the impact that stress has on our brain, but chronic stress, and I found this to be profound, can actually cause loss of brain volume, which can impact our emotional and cognitive health as well. So really thinking about the role that stress has in our brain health and our cognitive support, And one way to support that is with choline. We know that choline is involved in brain development and neurotransmission and signaling. And we know that there's a lot of studies that have been done to show that choline plays a really important role in optimal brain function and influences cognitive function later in life as well. And also when it comes to stress response, we know that GABA is amazing for promoting temporary relaxation. It's a natural amino acid, and there's been a lot of studies to show that GABA, especially towards sleep, has improved how you feel when you wake up. It's improved that wakening score that we call it. It improves sleep satisfaction, and it also helps individuals fall asleep easier, and it kind of helps increase that calmness score as well. So more people feel calmer when they take a GABA. So a lot of nutrients that we've talked about, and one way and one place that you can find these nutrients is with Progressive. So Progressive formulas are really designed with you in mind. Since 2002, our products have been really professionally designed. We have an orthomolecular, functional, and nutrition approach when we create our formulas, and we utilize premium nutrients, clean ingredients at therapeutic doses. So that's also really important, is that therapeutic dose, because you don't want to just take something for nothing. You want it to be at that dose that is actually impactful. And we also have our 360 Pure Promise, which is that from farm to finish, we have these 360 steps to ensure that you are getting an effective product. So we have our Resilient Mind, which has all of those great herbs that I mentioned. So it has the ashwagandha, the schizandra, the rhodiola, and the astragalus, along with choline and GABA. And this is an amazing all-in-one. I absolutely love taking this personally and recommending it to my patients because it just does so much, right? Imagine you're stressed, you're feeling tired all the time, you're irritable, you have brain fog, right? You can't concentrate as well as you used to. You are exhausted, but you're also wired. I call it tired, but wired. Like you want to go into bed and you want to sleep, but you just can't. There's just so much going on up here that really is preventing you from getting a good night's rest. And so this is where Resilient Mind absolutely shines. So it helps to increase your energy and it helps to really resist stress. So little factors that used to stress you out before don't become a stressor for you anymore. So that's what we mean when we say resistance to stress. It also helps to relieve that general weakness and that fatigue, and it helps in the recovery process as well. It helps with mental and physical performance as well, and it also helps with improving and supporting your cognitive function as well and your mental stamina. And along with that, it helps with promoting relaxation. It just kind of brings you down. That GABA really helps. So if you are someone who is experiencing, fatigue from stress, or you're just mentally exhausted and physically exhausted, and all of those things are just becoming too much, I highly recommend Resilient Mind because it just has a synergistic blend of all the herbs with the choline and GABA to help to support the stress that you're experiencing. It's also important to consider a combination plan too in order to achieve and to support your foundational health and to support your pillars of health as well. So we talked about immunity and we talked about stress, but there's so many other factors that can really decrease our immune function. So we also addressed older age. So as you age, your immune response is not as robust as it used to be, but also environmental toxins as well. So smoke, alcohol, and other pollutants, poor diet. So when you are lacking in key nutrients, that can also impact your immune function and your immune cells. Chronic diseases as well can impact the way that your immune system is responding. We touched based on stress and how cortisol can really shunt our immune response, and also lack of sleep. So these factors you really need to think about if you are experiencing, maybe a diet that's not as robust in vitamins and minerals, with sleep, with stress. Really think about that and how that can be impacting your immune health. One of my favorite ways to not just help with immune support, but also stress response is mushrooms. So according to Health Canada, some mushrooms like reishi are used in herbal medicine as potent adaptogens to really help you balance stressors and be resistant to stress. And it also helps increase energy as well. Mushrooms are also fantastic for immune support because they have immunomodulating properties. Another reason why I love mushrooms is that they're so unique. Each mushroom has its own distinct nutritional profile and really provides different therapeutic potential. Now, I mentioned that mushrooms are immunomodulating. So what does that truly mean? So immunomodulators are herbs or mushrooms that have an effect on our immune system. They can either stimulate different immune cells like our macrophages, and they can really enhance the production of antibodies as well, so it can build a robust immune response. The fascinating things about mushrooms are that they are immunomodulating, meaning that they alter the immune function based on what your body needs. So it can really either upregulate your immune function or downregulate your immune system. So that really depends on what your body needs at current state. And this is why I find immunomodulators like mushrooms so fascinating. So we have at Progressive a lineup of mushrooms. We have our mushroom complex. We also have 2 different mushrooms like lion's mane and cordyceps. So with our line of mushrooms, we feature whole food mushroom powders. So they're nutrient dense, full spectrum, and they have whole food benefits, and they're from organically grown mushrooms. And remember when I said that we're not just what we eat, but how we digest? This is also true for mushrooms, of course. So some mushrooms, our body just has a harder time digesting it. So this is why in our formulas, they're very comprehensive and they include digestive enzymes so that you can access all of the medicinal benefits of it. We also feature ethanolic reishi extract. So this is an optimal extraction method. So that makes sure that we have all the active compounds, and it also fully complies with Health Canada regulations. And we feature 360 pure quality and DNA tested for authenticity as well. So let's start with our mushroom complex. So this is a very comprehensive, complete blend of 7 mushrooms. And and we have the fruiting body and mycelium. So we have both of the active parts. So these 2 parts offer different medicinal properties and therapeutic benefits. So in this mushroom complex, you're getting both of those parts of the mushroom, so you're getting a very robust therapeutic potential. Now, you do have to take 3 capsules with a meal, but I will say when patients do start taking it at that dosage, they do start to feel an impact right away. So we know that it's been used in herbal medicine to really help to increase energy and really help with the resistance to stress as well. If you were just looking for a specific mushroom, we have cordyceps. So it includes the stroma and mycelium along with a digestive enzyme to really help your body absorb it. And we know that it has immunomodulating properties as well. And we also have lion's mane. So again, it has both the parts of the mushroom, the mycelium and fruiting body, along with a digestive enzyme to really help with immunomodulating properties and give you that benefit. Now, if you're really looking to one-up your immune system and you're looking for additional support, I recommend beta-glucans. Now, beta-glucans, if you do not know what they are a special compound that's found actually in the cell walls of mushrooms. And sometimes it's very hard to digest, so sometimes it's really nice to just get that specific compound. And beta-glucans have robust studies. So there's about 280 clinical trials, 20,000 published studies that really back up its efficacy in that it really helps to support our immune system. So we have our Immuno Daily Support. This is a really great blend of not just beta-glucans, but also vitamin C and zinc. And as a result, it's a great source of antioxidants. It has immune support and overall health support as well. So I definitely recommend this to patients who need a bit more when it comes to their immune support. So addressing their stress with, say, a resilient mind, but they also need something specifically for their immune system. I recommend the Immuno Daily to be a really comprehensive protocol for their needs. And then we have our basics, right? We always think of 2 key nutrients when it comes to immune health. Why don't you drop it in the chat? What are these 2 key nutrients that, are top of mind when we think about immune support? 2 vitamins that, I know pretty much everyone I know is taking. Yep, vitamin C, vitamin D. See, it's so easy. Everyone knows vitamin C and vitamin D. So let's dive in a little bit deeper and understand the role of vitamin C when it comes to immune health. So it's a really potent and powerful antioxidant. It kind of goes through our body, looks for any, cellular damage and helps support our body with that clearance. It also strengthens our immune function. Research has shown that it can also help with allergies, and we know it plays a really great role in, promoting healthy teeth and gums and even bones and joints. So when it comes to picking a vitamin C, there is a lot more than just vitamin C itself, and that's why we have vitamin C complex. This is my absolute favorite. It's been formulated in such a way that if you really get the best of all the support that you can possibly get when it comes to not only getting vitamin C but absorbing vitamin C. So we have 7 vitamin sources, 7 fruit extracts, and 9 supportive nutrients as well. And the vitamin C that we use is isolated, so it's done in that way so that you have increased potency, and you're also getting vitamin C from whole food sources as well, so you're getting that balance as well. We also have plant-based digestive support too. So we have the papaya, and we also have the black pepper as well, the piperine. And that also helps with that absorption. So that increases the bioavailability of the vitamin C. So our vitamin C is so much more than just a vitamin C. You're getting additional antioxidant support. You're getting vitamin C from different sources like, quercetin, grapeseed extract, the fruit extracts, and then you're getting those additional nutrients to help with that absorption. So that's where the black pepper comes into play as well. So really think about, not just a simple, not just like a vitamin C, but it's a complex vitamin C. So hence the name, vitamin C complex. So as I mentioned, it has fruit and botanical extracts, and it's really great for supporting the immune system and also supporting your bones, cartilage, teeth, and gums as well. Now, last but not least, we have vitamin D. So still 1/3 of Canadians do not have enough vitamin D. We see this deficiency more so in individuals between the ages of 20 to 39. We also see higher deficiency rates, obviously, in the winter time. So it's also important to keep it top of mind during the winter. And we also see that individuals who are past the age of 50, they require more vitamin D. Their vitamin D needs increase. Now, vitamin D is very, very interesting. It's definitely a unique vitamin. It's fat soluble, meaning that you need to take it with a meal or something with fat so that you absorb it. And it also functions very uniquely. So it acts as a hormone, so it actually tells other cells what to do. And it also you're able to make vitamin D from the sun as well. Food sources of vitamin D are not as many, so sometimes a food first approach does not work. Fatty fish is one source of vitamin D that you can choose to take, but did you know that it takes about 100 to 200 grams of salmon to get that vitamin D that you need according to Health Canada? So that's quite a bit. There's a lot of other factors that influence how much vitamin D your salmon will have, right? So you have to think about that. Egg yolks are a source of vitamin D, and mushrooms are really the only source of vitamin D for vegans. And again, you have to be mindful, right? As soon as you've picked a mushroom and you've stored it, you've started to decrease the natural vitamin D that mushroom has. So definitely food first approach is nice, but for some vitamins like vitamin D, it isn't something that can happen very easily. Now, vitamin D can also be very difficult to get from the sun. So depending on where we live, so in Canada, it's difficult because of the time, the season, even cloud coverage, smog, those can all impact how much vitamin D we can truly absorb from the sun. Also, if you are using sunscreen, you're not really allowing your skin to synthesize vitamin D because sunscreen blocks that. It decreases its absorption. If you are also wearing extensive skin coverage, obviously that would decrease your exposure to sunlight. And also, if you have high skin melanin content, you would have a harder time converting vitamin D in your skin. Also, if you are overweight, have had gastric bypass surgery, or have any medical condition that decreases how much fat you can absorb, those are also factors to consider when it comes to what your personal vitamin D level is. Now, when it comes to the summer, I know we're approaching spring, and I know that in the summertime, individuals usually don't have vitamin D top of mind. But it's also really important to know when it comes to immune health, we really need to be thinking about our vitamin D status when it comes to fall, right? You don't want to play catch up in fall. You do not want to start loading up on your vitamin D because, now it's fall time and I need to protect my immunity. Fall is when you really need high amounts of vitamin D. You want to be at that perfect level so that your body is ready during that season. So do still think of vitamin D in the summertime. You'd be surprised. Not a lot of people are getting that vitamin D that they need from the sun. So really think about vitamin D, and even 1,000 IUs a day. This is, something that's recommended by Health Canada, something that you can still take. So thinking about that during the summer so that you are ready and set up for success in fall is also very important. So vitamin D plays a really important role in our immune system, and that's why I'm talking about it today. It helps with, our innate immune function. It helps with, how our immune system is functioning. So it plays a really important role, and it should not be underlooked. And it also plays a really important role in bone health as well. So one really easy and convenient way to get your vitamin D is with our vitamin D spray. It's a delicious natural orange flavor. It's very easy to take. And if you're traveling this summer, it's travel friendly and it's very convenient. So I usually find this a better way than, measuring my salmon or thinking about how much time I spent in the sun today. So it's my favorite way of getting vitamin D. And like as I mentioned before, it helps to maintain our immune function, and it also helps with the development of bones and teeth. We also have vitamin D for the whole family. And this is great for the whole family, and it can be enjoyed as a chewable or capsules. So depending on where you are and what goals you may have, your needs may differ. So let's think about it. If you are a student over the age of 18, your needs might be immune support, making sure you're getting all of your nutrients that you need, preventing stress from overloading your body, and helping with focus and cognition. So for those individuals, I recommend a protocol like this: the Resilient Mind to keep you sharp and to keep your stress levels low, the D3 and vitamin C to, again, prevent any nutritional deficiencies and for that immune support, along with mushrooms for the additional immune support and additional adaptogenic support as well. If you are a new parent, your areas of concern might be the stress, the lowered immunity, and the low energy. And again, these are what I would recommend. So the Immune Daily to really help with immune function, along with the mushrooms. And then the vitamin D3 and C, which I consider as staples and something that should be incorporated every day. And if you're a busy professional, you obviously don't want your immunity to be compromised. You don't want to be sick. You do not want low energy. You don't want to feel burnt out and stressed. That's really going to prevent you from working optimally. So this is something that I would recommend for these individuals to really help build a robust immune system and stress response and that resiliency. And if you're retired, immune health is top of mind, along with keeping our cognition sharp and keeping our stress levels low. So this is typically the protocol that I would recommend for these individuals: that Resilient Mind for that cognitive support, the C and D really for preventing any nutrient deficiencies and immune support, along with a mushroom. So as you can see, we have this amazing resiliency toolkit that you can really tap into. And I always show my patients images like this so that they are aware and they can decide for themselves too, right? Like, hey, I need some more, I need some more stress support. I think I'm going to incorporate an Immuno Daily. I do feel like I'm going to be stressed this season. Maybe that's in the wintertime, or maybe that's, right now, if you're an accountant and you're in tax season, then you might need more, stress support. So then you have that opportunity, what's out there. So you know what to look for when you are in your local Healthy Planet. So that's it for me today. We do have some time for questions. So I do see 4 in the Q&A. So Resilient Mind, I like to take in the morning, at breakfast, and at dinner. So I like to space out my Resilient Mind so that I'm getting a nice dose throughout the day. I'll have to look up for the Hashimoto specifically, but if you are ever concerned, then you should talk to your healthcare practitioner in regards to your supplements and like health conditions like Hashimoto's. Let me hop over to the chat. I really like magnesium for sleep. I think it really helps to just relax muscles and tension. So I do recommend, I personally do love taking a magnesium. Alrighty. I don't see any more open questions. So resilient mind is a synergistic blend of the adaptogenic herbs that I discussed. So because of those combinations, like the ashwagandha can really help increase the energy, the astragalus really helps with the physical stamina. So that's why it can do those things at the same time, because each ingredient is bringing something different to the table. And you can take it in the morning at breakfast and at dinner time as well. Ginkgo biloba is a great herb for blood circulation, so I really like it for that. Okay, so I think that's the end of today. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining us and being here today with us. Chelsea, thank you for being here and answering all of those questions for me. And I'm looking forward to seeing you guys again, and have a wonderful evening. Thank you so much.